How's it going, guys? Chris here, and in this video, we're going to be going over how to assemble this Ash-Greninja Pokéball after you guys are done printing. So, let's get to it. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to take our bottom half, and we're going to take our tan piece, and we're going to push the tan piece onto the pegs there. And where they are, didn't have it lined up, cool. And now these are going to be in position. Then we're going to take our clicker core and the bottom, and now you can put it in on the top or the bottom first, whatever you want to do, whatever's easier. And we're going to put these two halves together. So I already have my clicker and my clicker core in the top half. I'm going to push my ring over. Then I'm going to line up the top and bottom, and I'm going to twist these into position. All right, so now these are nice and locked in. All right, so next I'm going to put a little bit of glue in these holes up top here. And these are just to hold the alignment pins in place. So I'll take these blue pins and just drop these in. And again, these aren't really going to be like holding much together. They're just for alignment. So while that's there drying, we're then going to go ahead and move on to this front blue piece here with all the holes on it. And we're going to take our tan pieces and push these onto the bottom. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue in these bottom holes. Just a little bit. And then I am going to push the tan pieces in and line them up with the opening. So those are going to be lined up like that. Then once these are good to go, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these pegs here and just on this piece. And I'm going to push the blue piece into position with the tan pieces on it, and just make sure that everything is nice and lined up. So like when you look at it now, we have a nice opening for our clicker button to go in. So just make sure that you already have the clicker before you do all this, because we don't want any of this to come apart if we have to take it apart. All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit of glue here and put some glue on these blue faces over here and a little bit on this blue face over here. And then I'm going to take my black side pieces and push them onto position, and just make sure that you're covering the gaps as best as you can, and just kind of hold these in place until the glue has dried, because we can't really do anything else until these pieces are in nice and solid. So I'll come back and we'll do the next step once the glue has fully dried. All right, so with glue dried, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put on these red pieces here. So we're going to take these red pieces, and they are going to lay, get the orientation right, in the position like this. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put a little bit of glue on one inside half, and then we're going to put a little bit of glue right here on that front face, so that way there's something holding this piece to the body. So I'm going to push these two pieces together, make sure that they're nice and lined up. And then I'm going to drop this. You know what? I'm actually going to put a little bit more glue up here as well. And then I'm just going to drop this in. And then once that's on, I'm going to make sure it's nice and flat and everything is lined up perfectly. So I'm just going to look at it from this view here, and everything is nice and lined up. So I'm going to wait for that to dry, and then we'll go ahead and fill in the white pieces on the left and right. All right, so with this now in place, the next thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue in here and here. And then we're going to take our white pieces, make sure we have them on the right side. I have the wrong one here. So I'm going to drop this in and drop that in. And now I'm just going to wait for these to dry, and then we'll move on to the next piece. All right, so next we're going to take our ear pieces, and if you can kind of see it right here at this angle, you can see that both faces that are pointing up right now have the print bed on it. I want to glue those together so that way all I see is a nice smooth surface on the outside. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue, put it on one of these pieces here, and then I'm going to push print side to print side, let those dry, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to take these two ear pieces, print side to print side. I have the wrong earpiece, so here we go. Let those dry. And I'm going to put those down. Once these are done drying, we're going to take our ears and just push them into the ear slots. All right, so I already have one ear in. So I'm just gonna take some glue, drop it in the other ear channel, and drop my other ear in. And again, just make sure that both ears are facing with black on the outside and blue on the inside. And then you will have your ears fully on. All right, so next we're gonna take these light blue pieces here and we're gonna put them in between the ears. If you look at them, there's a taller side and a shorter side. The shorter side is gonna be in the middle. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of glue and I'm gonna put that glue kind of in the channel. So in those channels right over here on the head. And then I'm gonna take the light blue piece and just kind of push it into place. And I'm gonna take the other one and push it into place. And now those are in. All right, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our button on. So I'm gonna push the button into that button stem. And again, if you're printing a model that already has the stem as part of the lock, if you're not using the clicker, then you're just gonna push the button onto that stem. Otherwise, you're gonna take your button, line it up into position and push it in. I now have my button in. Then I'm gonna take my button ring and again, pay attention to the holes on the button ring. And those holes are gonna push into the little pegs right there on the center. So I'm just gonna line this up and I'm gonna push it in. Cool. So I now have my button assembled and we're gonna go ahead and do the next step. All right, so now I'm gonna take my accent pieces and put those in. So I'm just gonna drop a little bit of glue in this front like Y shape over here. And then I'm gonna take my tan Y and just push that in. Just gonna hold that there, make sure it doesn't come out. Then I'm gonna put a little glue in these side X's and drop these side X's in. All right, cool. And then drop some glue on the other side. Put this guy in, goes this way. And now I have all of my side accents in. All right, so next we're doing the tongue. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take both of these halves right here, and we're gonna put some glue on here, just on one of the halves. And we're gonna make sure that this tongue is all lined up nicely. We wanna make sure that we have this piece glued together as one. So once this piece is all glued, we'll then go ahead and assemble the tongue. All right, so with this now as one piece, we're gonna go ahead and pick one of the two halves here, and we're just gonna drop a little bit of glue in this hole. And this glue is gonna allow us to keep our two alignment pins in place. So I'm gonna drop this alignment pin into the hole and drop the next one into the hole, and just make sure that they're all the way out the back. All right. So now it does not matter what side you start with the alignment pins, but what does matter is that we have one side that has, let's see if I can get a better angle here, this cutout on the back. And this cutout is gonna be where the blades on the back are gonna go. And then the front piece of the tongue has this groove in it. So when we assemble it, that groove is going to be on this side of the body here. So looking at it, the groove is going to be on the left side of the body. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue here and I'm going to put this on the face and in the holes of the side that does not have the contact pins in it. And I'm going to push this into position. So I'm doing the front half. And then I'm gonna take these pieces, make sure that they're all lined up in the same orientation. And then I'm gonna click this into position here. I have it a little bit out of position, so let me just back it up. Here we go, everything's nice and locked in now. So I'm gonna line this up how I like it, and I'm gonna make sure that that groove on the tongue is facing the way I want, and that these slits here where they come together, you probably want to put those right in the middle of the ball, so that way they're kind of hidden underneath the black side pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and then we'll put on the other piece of the tongue, and then the blades on the back, and our build will be complete. All right, so with this round part of the tongue now fully around the body, we have an opening in the back here, and that's where this piece on the other portion of the tongue is going to insert. So I'm going to take some glue and I'm going to put it back in there. I'm going to put a little bit on the tongue right here. Then I'm going to take this portion and I'm going to stick it into that hole. So it might be a little tough, but just go ahead and push it in. It'll click in. And now I have the back portion of my tongue connected. So once that's all tried, the last piece that we're going to put on is the Shuriken in the back. So I'm going to give this just a minute to dry, and then we'll go ahead and put on the last piece. All right, guys, so for the last step, we're going to take a little bit of glue and we're going to drop it on the flat portions right here. Then we're going to take our X here, this like the blades in the back, and as you can see, there's like a tall orientation and then a wide orientation. We're going to be using the wider orientation here, and then we're going to take this and we're just going to push it into that groove, and we're going to hold it here and wait for the glue to dry. Once the glue has dried, you will have completed the build for this Pokeball. All right, guys, so that completes the build for the Ash-Greninja Pokeball. When you put this thing down, it sits nice and level. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this build. For any questions you have, leave them down below in the video or leave a comment on Patreon or in my Discord channel, and I'll be sure to help you guys out. And happy printing.